Hey, what is going on, Twintendo Nation? Hope you're having an awesome day. Today we got randomly a Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon trailer just dropped completely out of nowhere. I guess if we are looking at things in terms of Pokemon, they might have dropped it because it is obviously the Pokemon VGC World Championships this weekend, so that kind of does make sense to drop a trailer around the week and get people hyped for the new games. But like I said, it came out of nowhere and it did show quite a few new things. It's not as long as the previous trailer we got, and there's not as many things to divulge, but there are a few interesting details that I want to talk about, and especially about the plots of land we've been talking about with gyms and stuff. We can see something built on it finally. Obviously don't know what it is, but we will be discussing that later on in this video. So guys, let me know in the comments below what you think of this trailer, what you're looking forward to the most, and what your overall opinions are what you've seen so far. And remember guys, if you do enjoy the video, make sure to hit the like button down below, and without further ado, let's jump into this trailer. So first off, we see the female protagonist or female character from Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and it seems like she's picking her starter, so we can see Popplio, Litten and Rowlet. Now this is quite different to what we've seen before in Sun and Moon, where they were kind of in the town square, they were kind of on like a wooden pedestal when you kind of picked them at the start, but this one they're on the ground and she's kind of bending down and looking at, you know, which starter do I pick. The only image of what we had seen before of the starters was of the male character, the male protagonist, standing behind him and all the starters looking happy, and it seemed to be in the area where you do pick the starters in Sun and Moon, or somewhere near that at least, on one of the routes, but it's not on that wooden pedestal. It might be near the village, but it doesn't seem to be the exact same area. And interestingly enough, we have not seen who gives you the starters. You know, is it going to be Hal? Is it going to be a time skip, which I really doubt? You know, there's just some people saying that it could be that. Will it be the Island Kahuna Hala who gives you the Pokemon again, like Sun and Moon? Again, we have not seen who gives you the Pokemon. I feel like they might be saving a surprise. And obviously, since it's normally Professor's job to give the Pokemon, it could be Professor Kukui, or I'm still forgetting how I pronounce that name, but Professor Kukui's job to give out the Pokemon. But again, they've not shown who's doing it. So could it be someone else entirely? There is like an alternate universe theory going around this game because it's an alternate story. Maybe different characters are doing different roles. Who knows? But we're going to find out soon, hopefully. Now, one quick thing I do want to add before we do move on is once I actually finished recording audio, I went onto the Japanese trailer for Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon, and it showed basically the same thing, but they did show the starter select screen, and it's not on like the wooden pedestal or the town square thing. It's actually next to the fence, which kind of looks over the bay at Melee Island, and it's kind of like on this grassy area, and you get to pick them like that. I mean, as you guys can see on screen basically. So it's a little bit different, and again, it didn't really show who gives you the starter, but we do get to see Professor Kukui later on at the town square, so who knows? Not seen Harley yet. Interesting. Anyway, let's move on to the next point. Now next up is something that's either a massive tease, or it's something that, you know, we've actually really wanted in Pokemon for a long time, and we can see here in this gameplay Rockruff following the main character around, and it has like a happy, you know, emoticon, or, you know, emotion coming from it, and that's similar to what we had in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. When you talk to the Pokemon, it basically displays how they're feeling. I just have a bad feeling that, hey, that's not, you know, a Pokemon following you, or there's maybe a select few Pokemon that can follow you, and unfortunately, you know, that's just a wild Rockruff that's on that route, but when you go near it, it'll start to run around you and stuff. I could be completely wrong, because obviously they do give us a Rockruff at the start of the game through Mystery Gift, so that could be the Rockruff that eventually evolves into Lycanroc Dusk form, and it turns out they're just showing you that, yeah, Pokemon can follow you around, get hyped, so hopefully that is the case. But that's something that is incredibly exciting, and if that is true, then, I mean, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon will be so much better than Pokemon Sun and Moon. But most likely we shouldn't get our hopes up, because there is gameplay later on in the trailer where the trainer is walking around and there is no Pokemon following them behind them. So we're going to have to wait and see whether this is the case or not. I'm still thinking Pokemon aren't going to follow you till the next generation of Pokemon, but maybe like it was in Diamond and Pearl at Amity Square, it was a preview that Pokemon were going to follow you in the next games, because in Heart Gold and Soul Silver we had Pokemon following us again. So who knows? It's definitely something interesting to talk about and to discuss. Let me know in the comments below what you think about Pokemon following you. Will it be in Ultra Sun and Moon? I definitely think they're hinting at, you know, we're thinking about including it again, showing that Rockruff, but I just don't think it's going to happen in Ultra Sun and Moon. So next up in the trailer, we see this new foresty jungle area that we've never seen before. At least I don't think we've seen before, although it does kind of remind me of the dead tree outside Pony Canyon. I wonder if this is like a, obviously because it's a different universe, maybe this is what Pony Canyon looks in this world, but it reminds me of that in a way. It has these steep cave walls, or just like cliffs by the looks of it, and then it has this big rock in the middle and loads of other trees, and you can see these trainers, or by the looks of it trainers, with these kind of traditional Japanese straw hats on. So maybe it's a trial area, maybe it's something completely new. I mean, I'm hoping it's something new because I don't really want a retelling of Sun and Moon. I want some new areas to go visit and new features, which by the looks of this trailer it seems like there will be some. Next up we can see Executor Island, and it seems to be a Magikarp boat that does remind me of Team Rockets from the anime, but it also seems like one that you would see at the Seafolk village, which is on Pony Island. So it seems like there might be a part of, you know, a quest or something to go out to Executor Island with, you know, people from Seafolk village and maybe solve something. I don't know, but we get to see the Executor, like a cutscene of them swaying about. No idea what this could be, but again, it's pretty interesting. Next up we see a shot of Kahili, who was the Flying type Elite Four member for the Pokemon League in Sun and Moon, and this is interesting because she barely made an appearance in Pokemon Sun and Moon. I think you could find it in a hotel on the second island, Akala Island, and apart from that she wasn't really in the game, and then she makes the appearance as an Elite Four member, which was pretty cool, but it seems like she might have a bigger role in this game. Whether she's still an Elite Four member I don't know, but again, cool to see that she's going to have a bigger inclusion this time around in Ultra Sun and Moon. Now this next clip got me really excited because here we can see Ryu Key, and I mentioned him in my gym leader video, how he will be a good fit to be either a gym leader or the next like trial captain for the island. So he's definitely having a bigger part. He was definitely like a preview in Pokemon Sun and Moon because he could only really verse you when you become the champion of the Alola region, and it's only random when he battles you, so you don't really have a choice in battling him or when you get to pick to fight him. But anyway, he seems to be in a new facility here. Not really sure what this is. Kind of reminds me of something like the Ether Foundation, at least inside of it. And he says the name's Ryu Key and what you might call a star. So either he's really arrogant, or it kind of reminded me of like the PokeStar Studios from Black and White 2. Him saying that. I don't know why that's the first thought that came to my head, because obviously that was like a third entry game and they had this new facility, so maybe that's making a return. Who knows? It's an interesting concept, but we do know he does play guitar and stuff. He seems to be like a rocker, so maybe there's some sort of like musical element like to this new facility, maybe like a rock thing. I have no idea. I'm just like, you know, speculating. That's what I do best. But anyway, let's move on to the next point. So we can see the main protagonist in Ollie City, and we can finally see something has been built on this actual plot of land. So we know the plot of lands have some purpose, but I have no idea what it actually is. Looking at it, we can see a camera in the window and obviously a star outside the entrance. Maybe that is where Ryu Key is based, but we can also see on a sign some sort of like either bow tie maybe, and it seems to be maybe like a brown glove above the bow tie. So it could be like either, you know, a place to dress your Pokemon up, or maybe, you know, a store to buy clothes for your trainer that's a bit different to the normal clothes store. Or is something completely different. Remember, there's a camera there. It seems to be something related to fashion, at least in my opinion, or a new facility in terms of dressing your Pokemon up or dressing yourself up and actually doing something extra. I have no idea what it could be. But yeah, it's something. Definitely not a gym. Looks very colourful, that building. It's going to be very interesting to find out what this actually is. But here we can see as well, no Rockruff behind the trainer, so I don't think Pokemon will be following. I just think that Rockruff is kind of always on that route. I think it was Route 1 or 2, that Rockruff, where it was. Probably Route 1 actually. So yeah, I just think that's kind of like a static Pokemon that's always there instead of actually following you. Now here is where we get into like the main speculation area of the actual trailer itself, and the biggest breakdown of all. We can see the entire map for the Alola region, and we can clearly see it's different. It's set at like dusk, or at least sunset, and it's hard to tell what is actually different. They don't show the entire region because, as we can see, the third island is a bit cut off at the bottom. But we can see on Melee Island that the square, or like the plot of land that used to be empty, does have that building on it. Now I've had a look at some of the other plots of land, and there are actually other buildings on them, and some of them do look different to the other ones. There's one in Coney City that does look like the one in Ollie City. However, if we look at He City or Hey City, no idea how to pronounce that, but there is like a kind of white building with a dark grey roof, and then there's also one on Ula Island, Mali City, in like the shopping district area, and there's a building with an orange roof, so they definitely look a bit different. Apart from the one in Coney City and Ollie City, maybe they have different purposes, but it's very interesting to see what these plots of land will be actually used for. That's the only thing I can really see different, apart from the obviously massive gaping black distorted hole. That reminds me of Giratina's kind of portal from Diamond and Pearl. We might as well throw another Diamond and Pearl reference in here to ask for remakes, but yeah, that's the only thing I can really see different. If we look closer at the map, there is, you know, a few differences, small differences from the Sun and Moon Alola region artwork. So if we look at Ula Ula Island, at the bottom, far right, there is a little kind of white building on the beach at the back, hidden at the back, or like a trailer. Whereas we look at the original map and there is nothing there, so that seems to be new. There also seems to be either these rocks or some big ass Wailords in the middle of the ocean outside of Ula Ula Island, kind of in between Akala and Ula Ula Island, which weren't actually on, you know, the Sun and Moon artwork for Alola. So those are the only differences I can see so far. If you guys see any more, if you get a chance to study this in more high quality, there hasn't really been a high quality release yet, then let me know in the comments below if you find anything new. Now towards the end of the trailer we get to see the official artwork for their male and female protagonists of Ultra Sun and Moon, and they look fantastic. I don't think we had seen that artwork before, but apart from that there isn't really much to discuss about that. And then we get to see, you know, the Rockruff promotion really about Lycanroc Dust form, and that there's, you know, Rockruff special evolution, and that only certain Rockruff can evolve into this Lycanroc Dust form. Obviously we get given a Rockruff through mystery gift. But what do they mean by special Rockruff? Is it just a mystery gift one, or will there be other ones as well in the game that we can catch and evolve if we meet special requirements? Who knows, guys? Very interesting trailer. Surprisingly enough to talk about, and enough to get me hyped for the next trailer or next batch of information. Or even if we just don't get any information, I'll still be excited for the new games. I am a bit apprehensive that there's going to be not too much new, but I am trusting in Game Freak. I might as well. Why not? Anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this trailer breakdown and you're looking forward to Ultra Sun and Moon, hit that like button down below. If you have something to say, maybe you've seen something I missed, or you just want to talk about the stuff I've talked about in the trailer breakdown, then let me know in the comments below. And if you want to stay up to date with all things Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon, and just Pokemon in general, guys, make sure you're subscribed and join the Twintendo Nation. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you on the next video. Peace!